your brain, before you're even aware of what you're looking at when you're scrolling, your brain has already analyzed within the first 200 milliseconds something that has grabbed its attention. And I'm talking about its attention, talking about your brain, because not you. Like you, let's say that
I didn't notice.
You haven't even noticed it yet. Your brain has noticed it first. So your brain notices color, movement, typography. It's something that catches.
Maybe music sound.
Maybe music sound, exactly, right? But your brain catches that within the first 200 milliseconds, and it already knows before you do if you're going to continue to scroll or not, right? So
It hasn't sent the signal yet, but it goes, okay, you're ready to swipe.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. You know what? It's funny, but that's exactly how it happens. So you're scrolling, and when you're scrolling, you're doing the action. Your brain already told you.
Decided that you were going to move to the next one.
So to your point, so what do? You have to be able to create content that grasps the attention of the brain.
1/100 of a millisecond.
In the first 200 milliseconds, please.
And it has to be for your brain, not for you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. So you create for the human brain.
We're here.
Welcome to Storytellers Cafecito break. I see you got a new mug.
Yes, it's clear, white.
Yes.
Perfect. Then yours is the same.
It actually is not. It's a different mug. Also R2-D2 from Star Wars, but I know you can't tell the difference.
Looks the same to me.
Well, yeah. But what is different is the coffee.
The coffee's awesome.
Dude, the coffee's horrible.
It's a little machine.
Let's ask our guest. I want to introduce Nathalia Bogani, producer extraordinaire. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Ching ching. I'm excited to be here.
All right, you try the coffee. You tell me how good it is.
Let's see.
Because I pressed the button.
Too long.
It's actually very good.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, then it's me.
Thank you.
Then it's the mug.
I think it's you,
listen,
yeah.
it's not extraordinaire, but it's not bad. I mean,
It's not a carreta.
if we would have gone to the coffee place like you wanted to, we have Casa Bake down the street, which is great.
Free plug.
Free plug. But
Well,
then
it was just a little long for you.
Then we
Yes.
would have gone delayed. Yeah, he likes short coffee.
Short coffees.
All
All right, so Nathalia,
Yes.
you started in broadcasting like all of us.
I did.
And then you went over to digital. So tell us a little bit about your beginnings.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, well, I worked at Univision back in 2012, around there. And I started in the production department. So I started as associate producer, and it was like my first time really learning about the whole production world and what it entailed to create a piece of content that, you know, from scratch, that was going to be later a piece of entertainment for the nation. And then in my years in working there, I noticed that our sister cable network Galavisión didn't have an Instagram account. I was actually the person that started Galavisión's Instagram account. I started it. I approached my boss and I said, you know, Univision has one, so why doesn't Galavisión have one? I want to take this project on. And she looked at me and she said, go ahead. If you have the time and you think you can do it. And I was like, I'll make the time. I really want to do this. And it was really like the beginnings of my understanding of social media. I had never done it before, but I really wanted to take that project on and make it my own and learn in the process of doing that. So what did that entail? I had never done this before. So I secured the account on the platforms. Then, because I believe it was also Facebook, but I was more focused on Instagram. So I secured the account, and then I thought to myself, okay, well, what do I post now? Now what do I do? I have the account and it's just sitting there. But what do I do now? So then I started thinking, because I was in the production side also, I didn't leave that part. We have the shows. We have the shows that we need to promote. But in addition to the shows that we need to promote, we also have to create community. I was thinking already of community in the early stages
before it was a thing.
Before it was a thing to create community. I needed to create conversation because I wanted the likes. I wanted the questions in the comments. Sure. And so what I did is I used my logic. And I imagine that this is how many accounts start. You start thinking of what different types of content you create. And this is like the birth of like what we now call pillars. So when you are creating content for social media, you create them with pillars. So for example, a pillar can be content on education. So educating about a brand. The other one is lifestyle. I want to a post about family gatherings using the product, or drinking the soda or whatever it is. Then another one can be tips, and like that. So you start creating content categories, which are called pillars. And so what do those pillars look like for me were, promotion of the shows. And then I actually created a post that went like viral in its time.
I think what is viral at the time? 100 views?
Well, it was like, I don't know. I want to say that I probably got like 1,000 or 2,000 likes. And to
But
me,
at the
like back
time,
then,
yeah.
That was a big deal
That was
back
a big,
then.
it was such a big deal for me, because I was like, whoa, I was able to create something that resonated with our followers, with the people that were following us on social media. And again, it was like my little baby, it was like I was creating something, and to have a post go viral so early on. And so I'll tell you what that was. So I'm Peruvian, but of course, like a lot of our followers are Mexican. And so I created a post to start a little debate on which ceviche was better, whether the Mexican or the Peruvian.
For sure. Sorry.
Let me tell you, this post went places. Like it took
Really?
off. The comments were, like some people were like, "Oh, I'm Mexican," and I have to say, like, the Peruvian is the one. And of course, we had the comments that said, "Oh, the Mexican." But it was conversation. It was community. It was engagement. It was bringing together a group of people that were following the account and talking amongst themselves in the comment section. And I want to talk about the comment section later, because something has come now, like recent, about what the comment represents.
Okay.
But back then it was about the engagement for the brand, right? So I was just very proud of that little piece of work that I did there. But my focus, again, going back to the pillars, was, okay, what do we create that's going to resonate, that's going to entertain, and that's going to be aligned with a brand? It needs to be aligned with the brand in terms of promoting the content that we want them to watch at the end of the day. So it was a fascinating time for me, to say the least.
Has that changed from when you started?
Yes.
To now.
To what it is now.
Yeah.
Social media has been around for decades now. And yes, it has changed. It has evolved in a certain way. But I also happen to believe that deep, deep down at its core, I do feel that it has stayed the same. In what way? So social media has a purpose. And that purpose, that essence, hasn't changed. It has evolved like you would, like a child. Child is the same person as a child and as an adult, and then it grows and it matures. I feel that the same thing has happened with social media. Social media is maturing and it changes based on needs that it sees from its consumers. But at its core, I think it's still doing the same thing. Now, brands are now taking more advantage of all of its capabilities. So promotions, paid ads, posts going viral, right? So it has taken a different shape, but at its core, I think it's still the same. And it's to communicate, to engage, to create that sense of conversation online.
Well, creating the content, the posting, the messaging, the thought behind a post, has that changed? You talked about that even though things have changed, the pillars are still the same. You were telling me that the other day.
Yes.
How does that work?
So that's what I was trying to say. Like, the essence of how to create content has remained the same, because you still need your pillars. You can't just, like I was telling you a little bit ago, you can't just create content to create. That's one of the things that I tell my students, is you can't create content just for the purpose of creating. There has to be purpose and intention behind. And so that hasn't changed. You still need a purpose. You still need a guide. You still need a reason to exist. And you need to give your audience, the people that are following you, a reason to follow you, because that consistency is what's going to maintain and allow you to continue to grow with your followers. So the essence of the pillars and having a reason and topics to talk about, that needs to be organized. Otherwise, it just may seem like an account that's just full of information, but not in an organized way. So in that sense, I feel like at its core, it has remained the same, but there's new things that are coming up. So for example, this is one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about. Before, we used to, when I would do the analytics of the Galavision account, for example, what were the metrics that were important to us back then? So how many likes what was the most popular post in terms of likes and in terms of comments? How many followers have we gained month to month, right? So obviously those metrics are still very much relevant today, but now there's a new thing. Do you know what that is?
Comments.
Yeah, but comments, but what?
I don't know.
That's why you're here.
That's why you're here.
Tell us.
Sentiment. Sentiment now gets measured. Did you guys
Like
know that?
opinion?
Well, it gets, for example, so you post something and it creates conversation. And so now you're able to measure if the feedback was more
Positive
negative than negative. So you're now able to measure the sentiment of your post, not just how many people liked it, how many people commented, but the sentiment.
So positive or negative, basically.
So you're able to determine if the post you're creating is it taking a different route than what you initially intended it to. So now there's tools out there that help you gauge that.
Is a negative sentiment bad if you're looking for views and engagement?
That's a very tricky question because it depends on what your end goal is as a brand.
Of course.
I mean, if your brand is, I don't care what they talk about, I just want the
You just want
exposure.
them to-
But if you are a brand that, I don't know, talks about health maybe, or that talks about children, you probably don't want to relate the comments to the negative part, right?
Of course.
So I think it just depends on that. But that was a very good question.
And what's your creative process when you're getting ready to create a post? And how do you discuss that with your students?
I love that. So we just touched on creating content calendars. But before you can create a content calendar, you need to look at your pillars. So you want to make sure that you have a good balance of all your topics so that the feed or your grid doesn't seem repetitive or that you don't have new and exciting content to share. So what I do and what I teach my students to do is, based on your content pillars that you have already established, you need to create a content calendar scattering these pillars around. So this was very interesting because the way I work is I like to scatter my pillars around, but a lot of them came back, like mainly in their midterm projects, they came back with their calendars and they had all assigned, like, for example, Monday to a certain pillar, Tuesday to a certain pillar, Wednesday, like that. And I thought that was interesting because I had never approached it that way. Yes, I had done the usual flashback Friday or throwback Thursday, right? You know in which days they go.
Oh my God, throwback. I haven't heard that in a while. Is that still a thing?
It's still a thing.
Really?
Yes. TBT. Now they call it TBT.
TBT, bro.
I know, but I haven't even
TBT.
seen a post with TBT in a while. That's
No.
why.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of cooled down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool down, but it's still a thing. And so
It's like Taco Tuesday. It's still a thing.
it's still
But
a
when you're
thing.
Wednesday.
It's very much a thing, by the way. Yes.
I was planning it. Sorry. Okay.
And so,
Sorry, I know you're talking about the pillars and what they the calendar.
yes. And
Content
okay, so
calendar.
that I found it so fascinating to see the students create their content calendars in this manner because I had never thought of doing it that way before. And like I was saying, yes, so you have your typical post that you post on certain days, like a Taco Tuesday, it's going to go on a Tuesday, or a Flashback Friday on a Friday. But I like to scatter my content around to give it that dynamic feeling. And when I saw them structure their calendars in that way, it was new to me, but I found it interesting. And so I want to try it now. I want to see what
It's
would
an
happen.
interesting strategy because if you can give your viewers something to look forward to, and you're like, that on Mondays you're gonna post about this type of content.
Exactly.
Is it a good strategy? I don't know. I guess
it is.
it's a test.
It is a good strategy, and I'll tell you why. Because your followers, they like consistency. But let me go back a second to talk about the brain, right? So the brain is in a constant state of looking for safety and working the least amount possible. So if I am a follower that follows a specific account on Instagram, and I know that I'm going to expect a specific type of content on Tuesdays, I'm going to be there on Tuesday and I'm going to see what came out. I'm going to be so excited to see what came out under that pillar. Now I say pillar because I understand it from behind the scenes part.
Right.
But as a consumer, I know that my brand is going to put something out on a Tuesday. I'm going to be there because I'm loyal to that brand, to the account. And I want to see an influencer that says, oh, every Tuesday I drop my new outfit of the day. I'm just making it up. Okay, so now I know, oh, I like her outfits. I'm gonna make sure on Tuesday I'm there because I want to see what outfit she's wearing. This is just an example.
Even if other days her content is different, like on Monday she posts on what is her favorite breakfast. So on Mondays she does that, and then on Tuesday she does that. So if somebody's interested in food, they will be waiting for Monday's drop. And then somebody interested in the clothes, then they go to Tuesday. Kind of like that?
Well, kind of what I was trying to get at is that the brain likes predictability. And so if you already know what what content you're going to be able to consume on the accounts that you follow, your brain is thinking this is safe and I like this account, so you're going to continue to follow it. You're going to be loyal to that account. Because your brain is in constant state of safety. It likes predictability, it likes consistency, and that builds trust with the brand. And so, yeah, to your point and to your question,
it's an interesting approach. I mean, I know that with live shopping, which is like a big thing now, and my wife watches the same lady every Tuesday for like 2 hours, and it's live shopping, and she knows that she's going to be there. And I'm thinking that's kind of the same approach, except it's a post as opposed to live.
And it's strategic for that brand to do it on that specific day.
At that specific time.
Because it knows that it already has an audience.
And they do. They have a built. I mean, it's huge. The live sale on TikTok, on Instagram is a huge thing. I don't know how much you can talk to that and the power that we have. It's crazy that you could literally open up a business today and be selling tonight free on social media.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. Well, there are many tools out there. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay a little premium. But yes, to your point, nowadays you can literally open up a business on zombies.org, and the next day you have your product and you have your photography and your descriptions, your SKU code or whatever it is, and people can now buy from you. I mean, it's just amazing. And then you post on social media, and if you have content, then but you know what? I want to go back for a second to talking about like that predictability and consistency with the days. Doesn't it go back to like when TV, like when you
had to watch at a certain time on a certain
was
channel.
Like, at 7:00, you were sitting there with your parents watching La Novela at 7:00. Like it was predictable. Yes. It was something that you already knew. So then it created a sense of like a culture within like the households, right? Or your favorite, or Friends. When Friends would drop every Thursday, I remember like going to my friend's house and we would sit there and watch Friends every Thursday. So it like created like a little ritual for us before DVRs.
Now, with that predictability of the date, should also be the time. Obviously, the time of day that you post, and then is there a better time to post?
Yes. So
depending on the content, tell me a little about that.
There are many times in the day that is better to post, only because of the amount of time or the amount of people that are currently connected. So, for example, those are, of course, everyone knows, in the mornings, during lunch breaks, and late evenings. Those are the times where you have the most people connected. But nowadays, you don't have to post on a certain day, on a certain time, just because a lot of people are connected at that particular time. It will probably give you an initial boost of engagement.
But the content has to stand alone.
But at the end of the day, if you open something on a Tuesday, you could very well be served something that was posted a week ago. Because now it's not just when something is posted, but it's based on your interest. So the algorithm is going to serve you something that was posted a week ago. And it's okay because it's something of your interest that it recognizes. Armando's going to like that. So let me.
But if a week ago when I posted it, it didn't get an initial response, an initial engagement by a lot of viewers, will it show up again a week later to somebody else? Isn't that very important to get that first initial hit, or it doesn't really matter?
I'm going to say probably not, because the platforms reward content that has had that initial engagement. So if you post something and you have, and it doesn't have to be crazy, it doesn't have to go in the thousands or even the hundreds, but if it has
an initial interest,
if it has recognized that it had an initial interest and you got like the likes very quickly, and it could even be like 20 likes and like a few comments, but it got traction, it'll recognize that, it could serve that to somebody else a week from now. But if you post something and it really
And
doesn't have anything,
crickets.
the algorithm is going to realize this is not good content. It didn't create any traction in the beginning stages of
It may
being
show it a
post.
little bit, but it obviously at a,
It may
at a
show,
small,
yeah, but even then, like, and I don't want to say like, oh, I'm, I know for a fact. It's social media is so
and it changes. It
it
changes daily.
daily. Exactly.
So talking about change, how is a piece of content validated to be posted on all the different platforms, or do you need to really, a TikTok video has a certain look and feel, an Instagram video has a different, LinkedIn, obviously we know, Facebook, like, is your approach, or what would you advise somebody who's trying to create content for the different platforms? Should they create platform related content?
Absolutely 100%.
And how long is that going to take?
No,
And how do you approach it?
Okay, thank you. So yes, absolutely. And so this is something that I also teach my students, is that the very first class that we had, by the way, was talking about all the different platforms, their personalities and their audiences, like who is there, who's consuming that. So that was like the very first class in understanding the platforms, so that we knew how and when to create content for those platforms. Your question is so valid, because I have seen so many brands copy and paste the same material over to like all
I do that.
LinkedIn.
I do
I
that
don't
because
have time.
I just
I
don't have
know.
the time.
I don't have the time.
But did you know that there's a way for you to grab one piece of content and switch it around in a way that serves that platform? For example, if you're going to create a video, let's say, right? There's a certain format that you upload into Instagram to make it most efficient. And then there are different ways, maybe
For TikTok.
shorter versions of that, like teaser versions of that for TikTok. Exactly. Now, you're not going to post the same content, I know you do, on LinkedIn, but let's remember.
Yeah, sometimes we shouldn't post some of the stuff we post on LinkedIn, but hey,
Well, I'm just gonna say, because I have seen
It's a different audience. It's a
I
different
like all of your
audience.
posts anyway.
Thank you.
In all of the platforms, I do like your posts.
that's our one view.
Yes! One subscriber.
But I have to say that, and this is one thing that I tell my students, don't forget when you post something on the platforms, don't forget who you're posting it for. So let's remember the personalities of each of those platforms. LinkedIn is very professional. We were talking about it before. It's very B2B. So it's very business oriented. So what about your content can you share that's going to be related to other businesses wanting to look at your content? They probably don't want to look at
And
a video about Cafecito. They probably want to
Of
see.
course they do. Everybody has coffee.
Wait, you're getting all
my paper, my
your
paper.
paper. So there in this, for example, in this podcast, there are certain pieces that can be
that-
shared in
yeah.
LinkedIn
Yeah.
And
and other
others,
pieces that can be shared on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. Why? Because every one of those platforms has a different audience, and you need to be able to understand and serve that audience. If you don't serve that audience, then that's why you probably hear crickets, because you're not serving that particular audience that's in that platform. Does that make sense?
and in the mood that they're in at that time.
And the mood that they're in. So I tell my students all the time, right? There's a difference between, there's two types of audiences. So there's a difference between the audience that you only find on LinkedIn and that you only find on TikTok, right? But grab somebody like me, for example. I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, right? So what do you do with somebody like me that's on all of these platforms? I am not that 70-year-old CEO that's only on LinkedIn, but I'm not the 19-year-old that's only on TikTok, right? So what happens to me when I'm consuming in the different platforms?
A lot of consumption.
It's it's a lot of consumption,
Yeah.
but it's my mood, right? Am I in a
So
professional
depending-
state?
Right.
Am I
Depends
thinking?
what time of the day.
Is my brain thinking,
Right.
I need to go on LinkedIn because I want to see if I can connect with this professional that I saw last week, right? If I go on Instagram, I'm probably more relaxed. I just want an inspirational post, maybe my favorite influencers. And if
Laugh a little bit. Cat videos.
to laugh a little bit, maybe I'll go to like TikTok that it has like those quick videos that just give me that dopamine, right? So it depends. If I go to Facebook, it's because I want more informational posts. Like if I'm looking at a new company, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if they have a Facebook account, because the Facebook account is more for businesses that want to give you more information on the brand. It's more detailed. The captions are a little longer. In Instagram, the captions are shorter, but then you use a lot of keywords for
search, basically.
yes, but the reason you use hashtags and or keywords now, they're called keywords because you don't have to put a hashtag.
So you don't have to put a hashtag.
You don't have to anymore.
I can put
As
a
long
Wow,
as
that's a
long
lot
well, it's
easier.
okay that you do. But if you just put keywords, you'll still be found with those keywords. But it's more for to be found, right? And so, yeah, that's something that I tell my students all the time. Just don't post just to post. Understand your platform and speak to that platform. So if you have a piece of content, make sure that you adapt it to the platform that you're going to upload it in.
So is there any tricks to break through the noise? I mean, there's so much content online. How do you get yours to be seen and for people to engage with it?
Okay. Yes, there is so much noise. There was a famous psychologist, Daniel Kahneman, and he actually won a Nobel Prize back in, I don't remember the year, but he passed away a few years ago. And he proposed the dual process theory. The dual process theory states that there is system 1 and system 2 in the ways our brains think. So system 1 is it's very fast. It's very emotional.
It's like instincts almost.
It's instinct. It's very automatic, right? System 2, it's a little slower. It takes a lot of effort, and it's almost logical. Like you think logically, right? So system 1 is the very fast one, and the system 2 is where you take your time to actually think things through, analyze, and then make a decision. Social media works with system 1, right? Because your brain
they want instant something.
But why? Because your brain, before you are even aware of what you're looking at when you're scrolling, your brain has already analyzed within the first 200 milliseconds something that has grabbed its attention. And I'm talking about its attention, talking about your brain, because not you. Like let's say that
I didn't notice.
You haven't even noticed it yet. Your brain has noticed it first. So your brain notices color, movement, typography. It's something that catches.
Maybe music sound.
Maybe music sound, exactly, right? But your brain catches that within the first 200 milliseconds, and it already knows before you do if you're going to continue to scroll or not, right? So
It hasn't sent the signal yet, but it goes, okay, you're ready to swipe.
Exactly.
Swipe.
Yes, exactly. You know what? It's funny, but that's exactly how it happens. So you're scrolling, and when you're scrolling, you're doing the action. Your brain already told you.
Decided that you were going to move to the next one.
So to your point, so what do? You have to be able to create content that grasps the attention of the brain.
1/100 of a millisecond.
In
milliseconds,
the first 200 milliseconds, please.
And it has to be for your brain, not for you.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes. So you create for the human brain. You create for the human brain.
So
really.
it's psychological.
But every brain's
It's
different.
very psychological.
Everybody's interested.
Well, that's why some people.
Exactly.
Right.
So that it goes back to my point before where I was saying, let's say that you are into shoes, right? If you're scrolling, you're gonna be scrolling past things that I like, but you're gonna stop at the shoe. If I'm scrolling, I'm gonna stop at the, lipstick, right?
Yeah, you may too.
You may too. I don't know. But my point is that, yes, there's a lot of noise out there, but you create for the audience that you know are going to stop the scroll for you.
So then it goes back to what you said about the pillars.
Yes.
And focusing.
Yes.
And it's
Big
interest
in your-
media. It's based
Right.
on your interest at the end of the day.
And that's the
And
reason
the
why
interest that
having,
you want people to reach. Things that interest that you want your audience to
Yes.
be interested in.
Yes.
So you basically cannot be all over the place.
Exactly. And that's the reason why you need structure, organization. There are tools out there for that as well.
For example, if you want to, tell me later.
Yeah. Like how if you were to have a small business reach out and say, look, we don't have a budget to hire you, but if you can give us a couple of tips on, products out there or apps out there that can help us get organized and like a calendar. I know there's a couple of different tools. What would you recommend? Something that's simple that'll help people get organized with their content.
Okay, I'm going to give you the OG of social media tools, Hootsuite.
Okay.
I started with Hootsuite back in the days, and it's still very relevant today. And it's a platform that allows you to schedule your content, and it gives you metrics. and it has a lot of capabilities, but it's a very great original tool that understands the evolution that social media has taken, and I highly recommend that people try it out.
Does it post for you? Like, do you schedule and it does all the
Yes,
posts?
Yeah.
yes. And then there's also Sprout Social, which basically does more or less like the same thing as Hootsuite, because there are many tools that do the same exact thing, but you have to try the one that works for you. So you have Hootsuite, you have Sprout Social, you have later.com.
I'm using Rella. Well, my social media girl's using Rella. I don't know how to use it.
Oh, okay.
but
Well,
we
you
are
see,
using
like
it.
there are so many
So
posts out
there
there. I don't
are-
even
there
know
are
Rella
some
because
Rellas.
there's
Ella.
Rella.
No, Rella. It's basically what she's saying.
If I sat here and I knew every single
No,
tool
no,
or
and
app that
every
was
day a
out
new one
there,
comes
even
out.
if you knew everything today, tomorrow's gonna change.
tomorrow's
gonna
going to change. Exactly.
So
Which goes back to, I wanted to talk about the AI that because you're teaching the class and
Yes.
you're teaching
Yes.
tools for AI,
Yes.
and there's a gazillion different tools
Yes.
for different things,
So
and it's
many.
overwhelming.
and it's
Overwhelming. Yes.
Okay.
So, and that's one of the things I tell my students. One of my slides actually says, "Don't be overwhelmed. Let's walk through this together." So this is what I teach them.
So imagine we're students.
Yes.
Hi, teacher.
F students.
Professor, please.
Professor.
Professor.
Profe. Or
Profe.
Profe.
So, Profe, tell me.
Okay, so yes, AI is so overwhelming. You open your computer and there's so many things coming at you that you don't even know where to start, where to begin. This is what I tell my students. The first place to begin is with the basics, your ChatGPT and your Canva. You must have ChatGPT and Canva as your bare minimum, right? And then there are tools like I like to use Higgsfield. Higgsfield is like a hub, right? It hosts a bunch of different apps with different models. Let's call them models because in the AI world, we call them models. You use different models to create different things that you need. When you open Higgsfield, and it's by subscription based, by the way, and it's like with credits. So you pick the plan that works best for you. You open it up and immediately the homepage is like, it's too overwhelming. So what I like to do is I go to the top and I look for apps and I click on apps and it just gives me everything in a more, now
Digestible.
digestible and friendly, digestible way. Yes. And then you're able to see, okay, so then there's this app that I can try. Let's see what's going on with that. So then you open it, you give it your prompt and you try it. And then you see if it's a tool that's going to work for you or not.
Do you prompt there, or do you prompt in ChatGPT and bring the prompt over?
Okay.
'Cause I've heard some. Oh, I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you're jumping
teacher.
the gun.
Sorry, Profe. I gotta raise my hand. I forgot
You
to raise
raise
my
your hand.
I got in trouble.
Raise your hand.
They will put you in time out in the esquina,
Yes.
over in the corner, next to the coffee machine.
Oh no, not the coffee machine. Sorry.
Not
Go
the
ahead.
coffee machine. Okay, so this is the thing about Higgsfield, that because it's subscription based and it gives you credits depending on the plan that you chose, you can run out of credits very fast, very easily because you're trying things out. So what I like to do and what I've done recently is I prompt something on ChatGPT. I have it create something for me, like an output, like an image that I can then upload into Higgsfield to do
So it's
what
like
I
a
wanted
reference.
to do.
It's a user reference image.
Yes. Why? Because if I would have used Higgsfield to do that creation that was free on ChatGPT, I would have
Wasted all your credits.
my credits. So
Imagine
yes.
me that my credit's all messed up. Imagine if I also like that.
Oh no,
I'm kidding.
Oh my gosh. And so one of the apps that I like to use inside of Higgsfield, and it's fascinating to me because it's incredible how efficient it makes you work, is Shots. So you go into the app Shots on Higgsfield.
Like shots?
Like Shots. Yeah, Shots.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Shots.
Like tequila shots?
Like cafecito Shots.
Cafecito
Yes,
Shots.
yes. And let's say you upload that image given to you by ChatGPT, you upload it, and you don't even have to prompt it, by the way. I'll go back to your question a little later. You don't even have to prompt it, but that app automatically knows what to do. And what it does is it gives you an output of 8 different variations of that one post. So for example, I went to ChatGPT and I told it, I want you to create a photorealistic image of a young 20-year-old girl laying down on the beach with a red bathing suit on top of a yellow striped umbrella, sunny sky day. It gave me the output. I uploaded that image into the Higgsfield Shots app, and it gave me the girl with the hat staring at the camera, looking at the ocean, looking down. It gave me a bunch of different angles, situations.
And she looked exactly the same.
And she looked exactly the same. It was the same.
Remember what happened to you today that it kept giving you a different I'm going to ask you about that.
Because it happens. So one thing I'm going to say about Hicksfield is that one of the bad things is that, because I've tried many, many apps within the system, some apps you think, oh, wow, this looks amazing. And then you try it. It costs you 37 credits and the output doesn't work for you. So that's one of the bad things, is that you have to try the app that works for you and that it gives you the output that you're actually looking for. So I've spent a lot of credits on Hicksfield doing content that I'm like, no, I can't use it. I can't use it.
Because I think it's happened to you that you're trying to create a scene and you have the same person.
It's happened more with video than with images.
Right.
So how do you keep like, what are you using for video that'll keep a consistent character throughout different scenes?
Well, I'm not using video yet. So yeah, I haven't gone
next
that
week
far.
we'll come back
next
to
week,
you and tell us.
yes,
real
I'll
quick.
try video and then I'll come back.
Because it's happened to you that you prompted and then on this angle, the subject looks a certain way.
Yeah.
And then when you switch angles, the face slightly changed so it doesn't look like the same character.
Got it.
And that consistency, I don't know if it's just because AI is not there yet.
Yeah.
It's probably human error. It's probably
User operator.
It's user operator. Yes. I know that there's a way to references. I've seen other people's work.
Yeah, because it's probably the way you prompt.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe it goes
and
back
probably
to
the
that.
tool that you're using.
Yeah.
There's some that'll do sequence shots, and I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm using Hicksfield as well.
Okay.
But it's still overwhelming for me.
It's very overwhelming. I agree with you.
It's-
But I have done video. I don't mean to say like I'm not doing video on Hicksfield. I have done video, but using still images. So it's not like I have footage that I've uploaded and done.
So you
something
start
with
with
it.
a start frame?
Yes. Okay. So I'll tell you about 2 different videos that I've created with just a still image. I had an image of a soda inside of a bucket full of ice. It was a still, right? And then there were like 6 different bottles, but in my image, I was only able to put the logo on like 3 or 4 of the bottles, but not the ones behind. There's an app on Hicksfield. I forget the name right now, but I can share with you. And you upload the image, and then when you prompt it, the app already knows to do like a panning to the right or to the left, like a panning
To reveal
like the other bottles in the back, and it automatically knew and it identified that the other bottles had a logo, and it put the logo on the ones that I in my still image hadn't put. But I was able to create video in the sense that I was able to create a panning motion, and a panning motion is if you upload that to Instagram, it's an audio visual because it's a video from a still. The other video that I created was I had guys at the bar drinking from this bottle of soda, and one of the outputs from the apps, from the Shots app, and I went to a video creation and I told them I want them to look at camera and like do a cheers from a still. So the guys were sitting at the bar with the bottle, and then they looked up at the camera, they smiled and they cheered and they went like this. And it looked so real. And it was unbelievable to me that I was able to create all of that content. It goes back to like being efficient and creating content with the tools that you have when you don't have a budget or assets. Like you don't have assets. So I made ChatGPT create an image. And
so
then
you created, it was not a stock photo. It was a photo you created in ChatGPT.
On ChatGPT.
So you prompted it on ChatGPT.
Yes.
Which is what I was asking you earlier. Do you use, since ChatGPT doesn't really work on credits, so how much do you rely on ChatGPT before you bring it over into Hicksfield?
If I don't have an asset and I need one, I go on to ChatGPT to create the asset. And now we know that
you have a starting point.
I have a starting point, but now we know that with that asset that ChatGPT gives me, I was not just able to create different scenarios, but I'm also able to create video of that one image. It's incredible and it is overwhelming. But if you start with the tools that work for you, and you continuously use it to get better and to learn more, it shouldn't be that overwhelming.
So I'm gonna throw one at you. So what is the future of people like us? You're a producer, you're a content creator, you're a marketer, so are we. What does the future hold for people like us, creatives with AI growing at the pace that it's growing, is it?
Yes.
Does it scare you? Do you think it's going to be good for us?
It does not scare me at all. And I appreciate your question because that's something that I also tell my students a lot. I appreciate that you asked me that so much. It doesn't scare me because I don't believe that AI is here to replace us. We're human. We're still needed. I feel that AI has come. Yes. I feel that AI has come to help us and to make our lives easier and more efficient. So I tell my students all the time, when you work with AI, make sure that you work with AI in a way that AI is your personal creative assistant.
You're in control. At the end of the day,
You're in control. Not only are you asking for an output, but when you get the output, you can't just copy and paste what you get. You have to truly analyze what it's giving you to see if it aligns with your goals and your vision and your brand and your client. And you need to tweak and you need to perfect it and make it better. And that's where you come in, because you're using AI as a way to help you and assist you, make you better and more efficient, but not to replace you. So I'm not afraid of it. As long as you learn how to use the tools, and as long as you learn how to use them to your advantage to make you a better professional, and if you're smart, then you should be good.
They say that AI is not going to replace us. It's going to replace the people that do not learn AI.
I agree 100%. That's why you have to get on it. Somebody just asked me a few days ago, AI, yes or no? And I said, yes, absolutely yes, 100%. Like, we have to embrace it. It's everywhere now. It's part of our daily lives. If we don't embrace it, then
yeah, we have no choice.
It's
here and it's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. And it came.
No, yeah.
I don't know about you.
You blinked?
You blinked, and it's like every day. You know what I was thinking the other day? I was thinking AI came out of nowhere, like in 2022, 2023, and now it's 2026. So it's been like a few years now. But all of these people like developing all of these AI tools.
It's crazy.
Where were they? Where were they? They all just came out like boom out of nowhere. Like
they were in
all
their
of a
basement
sudden.
during COVID.
No, they weren't. They were in junior high.
Oh,
that's
exactly,
true.
Yeah, a lot
yes.
of them were in their early 20s.
14-year-olds.
Yeah, they were 14-year-olds.
It's insane.
It's insane. I agree.
But I think it's going to be good. And for medicine, it's going to be crazy. I mean, I think it's going to be positive. I think it's like everything. People are going to abuse it, like they abuse other things. I mean, the internet is abused in certain ways, and
Yeah, you don't
scams.
even
And
We
know
whatever.
already see the
anymore.
abuse nowadays.
You know, but at the end of the day, there's going to be more good than bad, I think.
Of course, I agree 100%.
And a quick thing about, because I know what most people that are not huge creatives or using it more in a day-to-day like Google was ChatGPT. But there's been recently a move more towards Claude, that the models are a little better.
Yes.
So what has been your experience with
I agree.
Claude, and how does that compare to ChatGPT?
I agree. I like Claude a lot. I have used it. I should say tried. I've tried it. I'm going to tell you, I do like Claude, but I'm very loyal to ChatGPT only because there's so much information already there.
Claude
Right?
doesn't know you like the way ChatGPT knows you.
Exactly. Yes. We haven't had that
haven't dated for
relationship.
that long.
We haven't dated that long yet.
Yes.
But I have to say it's interesting. I like what I'm seeing. I like the output. And it's like it's another tool that does like what I was saying before.
ChatGPT was your first love.
It was my first love.
But then you married Claude. The thing is, okay, $20 for ChatGPT, $17 for Claude. Hicksville. When you start adding all those up, you're talking about $200 a month. And then Envato or Canva, that's another one that
it brings me back to the time when they said, because having cable is so expensive, and now you have 15 subscriptions.
Exactly.
You have
Netflix,
this, you have
Disney
that,
Plus,
yeah.
Prime.
You're paying probably more than we were paying for
cable.
So you cut the cord,
Yes.
and now you got all these subscriptions.
Now you
It's
have
the
all
same-
these subscriptions.
It's the same thing with AI.
It's the same thing with
it
AI.
is what it is. If you want the technology to continue to improve and the
Yes.
content to be there on the
Yes.
streaming platforms, you got to pay for it. If
But
not,
and this is why it's so important to try them all to see which one works for you, so that you don't have all these multiple subscriptions and you just have the one that does the work that you need.
But sometimes you can't try it unless you pay for it. Because I've tried.
Yes,
Sometimes
exactly.
you do it and it's
But
like,
then you do the monthly one. You can do the
do
monthly
one
one.
and then, hey, no, that's all you get. You gotta upgrade.
Yeah.
I'm actually watching a course now on AI, and obviously there's a lot of creators on there that are like way at a higher level than I am. And one of the things that they do say is don't do the annual, even though you'll save money. Don't do the annual because things are changing so fast that maybe today this is the best tool and in 2 months it's not, but now you're stuck because you paid a year.
Yep.
And that's what I like about Higgsfield is that you do have access to everything.
Yes.
Even though the credits charge you more or less depending on what LLM you're using,
Yes, yeah.
but it's one subscription and
Yes.
then your credits go towards whatever you want.
Exactly.
So I do like that.
And that's the reason why I like Higgsfield too, because it's, like I said before, it's
It
a
gives you
hub
everything.
that gives you all the models that you can try out. But yeah, I also do the monthly one. I don't like to do the yearly. I don't like to commit that long to like one AI platform.
Okay, Nathalia, you've also been a project manager on all sorts of different productions. It's always a sensitive subject when you have to talk about budget with a client and within yourselves when you're creating a production plan. How do you approach that when a client has a budget that maybe is not realistic for what they want? Or sometimes, you have an idea, of how you can get what they need, but the money's not there. How do you approach budget?
Okay, so there's two different things here. So as a project manager, the way you handle budget is different than when you are agency producer, and I'll go over that. So as a project manager, I am told what the client's budget is and what the scope of work entailed for the agency, for the creatives to work on something.
And you better figure it out.
Yes. and so as a project manager, I have to ensure that all the resources that we allocate to that specific task or project stay within the scope, right? So I have to make sure that we are not overusing our resources so that the client goes over budget. So that's one side. As an agency producer, when we have clients come in that they want to create a TV spot or a radio ad, etc., again, we are also given like a ballpark, but then it's on us to put a budget together based on so many things. The type of a crew camera that we're going to hire, or a production company that we're going to hire. The talent, is it going to be with talent, or is it going to be voiceover? The music, is it going to be original, or are we purchasing? So all of those details create a budget based on the ballpark that the client gave us, and then we go back to it and we present a few options. You can either go this route and it'll be this much, taking into consideration that the agency also has to like earn money from that production. It's not just, the third party is going to cost us this, so that's what it is. No, we have to also put the agency upcharge. And then the other option is going a little higher, but then you're going to get this output. Now, it's a little tricky sometimes when they choose like the smaller budget, because at the end of the day, it's like your work. And even though they chose the smaller budget, you want to make sure that you give them the best quality work. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's different ways of approaching it.
So do you, and again, I know you don't technically do sales, but is the budget conversation had before you start creating these project ideas and this budget on your end?
Even conceptualizing.
I mean, do you say, hey, what's your budget? Or do you kind of tell them, hey, you want to do this commercial? Here's what you need to spend.
So this is the thing. As creators and as production companies, it's so important to at least get like a little ballpark from them. Because based on that little ballpark, then at least you're able to see, okay, this is where they're at. So let me build something that's gonna be realistic for them. Right? Because if they don't give you anything and they're thinking in their head, it's only $2,000, but they don't tell you that, and then you come back with like a $20,000 budget, then they'll get scared and go away, when you in reality could possibly do something for them nice for the budget that they had in mind, because you want to help them, you want to work with them, you want to build relationships.
And sometimes they just don't have a realistic budget.
They sometimes don't. But to your question, it's so important to at least try to get like that little ballpark just to see where they're at. It doesn't have to be the exact amount, but at least like different tiers of the type of production they're looking for.
Yeah.
But if you don't get that, then I think it's okay in our industry to build a good budget or a good proposal that lists all the great qualities and all the great work that you can do for the client. And
so you're okay with putting together all the work and all the time to create a project plan and a budget without them not agreeing to that?
I have done it many times, and I think you have to if you don't want to lose that client. Sometimes
Yeah.
you do have to bite the bullet. Sometimes. Sometimes.
Yeah.
That was the topic in our first
That was
podcast.
the
Yeah.
topic because sometimes
You have
you say it's
to.
like I don't have the time to spend to do a nice proposal because
Yeah.
if you're just gonna
And
throw
sometimes
something,
it takes
you know,
time to
if
put
you're
together
gonna,
a proposal.
if you're gonna send them an
Yes.
email, hey, we can do that, and it's gonna take you 5 minutes, okay. But if you're gonna do something nice, you're gonna do a little bit of research, you're gonna kind of put together a plan,
Yes.
and you're gonna send it to them, and their budget was 5,000, and you're at 50. You're like,
Yes.
there's nothing to talk about,
Right.
you know. So
Right. Another good thing to do is to show past work
that's my approach. My approach is, hey, a similar project like,
like this would cost
was
you this
around
much.
this much.
Yes.
Is
one
that what you-
location, one mic, one talent, right?
Yes, that has been my approach because I realized that the what's your budget conversation doesn't go
Yeah.
very well.
Yes.
They always
They're very reserved.
of course,
They are
of course.
very
Nobody wants to
reserved.
show you their number.
Yeah. But
It's
I
like
think
when
that's a very good approach. Show them past
that's-
work and be like,
that's what I do.
Yeah,
This,
say, hey,
is,
look,
you
this
like
would
this?
be-
Look at this.
I
yeah.
had
This costs this
similar
much.
I had a
Exactly.
similar production for a past client,
Right.
and their budget was around this much. Is that something that would work for you?
Exactly.
And then they say, hell no, then we need to
but I think that's a very honest approach.
Yeah, and
to-
then you're not wasting time.
You're not
still
wasting
getting-
time. Yeah, it's true. But you don't want to lose that client though. Like you're trying to see if you can get
Yes,
him.
of course. We
balancing
always
act.
we always want
Yeah.
to sell, but I do. I've been in business for a while, and I do know that not every client is a client for you.
Exactly.
So, and
It's
I'm okay with
true.
it.
It's
I'm okay
true.
with it. And sometimes it's better to cut them at the beginning if it's not going to be a mutual good. fit.
Because if
I
not, it's
agree.
vendida.com.
Yes, that's his middle name.
Vendida.com.
All right, with that, let's go
Oh,
to
okay.
the rapid fire questions.
Woo!
Okay.
Do I have a copy?
Yes, there is a copy for you. Next year, good copy.
All right.
All right.
Okay. What we're gonna do now? We're gonna throw little questions at you. First thing that pops into your head.
Oh boy.
Don't think about it.
Is this gonna get me in
complicated.
trouble?
They're not complicated. They're not complicated.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not gonna. No,
It's like green or yellow.
it's
right?
rated
Like that?
G. It's
Oh,
rated
okay,
G.
good.
Okay.
And there's nothing in politics, so it's good.
Yes. No politics.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Podcast or music?
Podcast.
A hook or a good story?
A good story.
Data or instinct?
Data. 100%. Always and forever. Data.
Quality or quantity?
Quality.
Creative or strategy?
Strategy.
Trends or timeless?
Timeless.
I kind of knew your answer.
Am I
Did
that
you get this
predictable?
story before? I think you did.
But
No,
all
he's
these-
saying I'm predictable. So am I like a safe
Yeah.
zone because I'm predictable?
I guess with the conversation, I kind of knew where you were gonna go.
This
Okay.
one, I don't know. Short form or long form? Told you.
Long form.
Okay. Organic or paid?
Organic.
Consistency or creativity?
That's a tough one. Can I say both? Because there's like a balance of both.
Sure.
Yes.
That's
I
like,
love a balance of both.
Okay.
that's fair.
Okay.
Speed or perfection?
You got me there because I'm perfection. Perfection.
But then
Perfection,
sometimes the
even if
client
it ta-
wants it
even if it-
yesterday.
Sometimes the client
Even
wants
if
it like
it takes
this.
longer and it's
I
like,
remember when she used to sit next to me. How much longer till you finish the project? I'm like, do you
But I
want
want it-
perfection or do you want speed?
I want both.
Exactly. Yeah, she was actually very patient.
It's balance. It's a balance. Get it. Video or photo?
Photo.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Scripted or organic?
Organic.
What do you prefer to work on? A low budget project or a high budget project?
I think both have their beautiful aspect to it. A big project gives you like a realm of opportunities and it gives you that freedom to be creative and to do many beautiful things. The short budget gives you, it allows you to also be very creative with that. But it's nice to work on both ends of the spectrum. Yeah.
To me, I think also on I know I'm not asked the question. On the lower budget, you have more control.
Yes.
On this budget, there's so many heads
there's
and so
less
many people to
people.
please.
It's
There's
true.
less
And to
people
approve.
to.
It's true. It's true.
Yes,
it's
I
true.
remember those.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, now
Yeah.
That's why you
this
have
has to approve, this has to be approved. And by the time
why-
it gets, that project doesn't look anything like with the original one.
That's
Yes.
why your projects are always low budget. Because you like.
Okay, next.
But I like high budget projects too.
Yes.
They're fun.
Yes.
They're fun.
You have a smaller role, but it's
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. Safe or bold?
Bold.
Plan or improvise?
Plan. I'm a project manager.
Yes.
Of course you are. All right. Well,
All right.
that's the end.
All right.
Thank you so much for
Thank
so
you both
much.
for inviting me. What a privilege to be part of your project. I wish you all the very best. I'm excited for your podcast.
Thank you. And you're our main viewer, so
That's always good.
keep watching. So we watch it
It's
over
gonna
and
grow.
over
It's gonna
again.
grow,
Yes,
and
It's all good.
it's gonna be successful,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
And thank you, and see you in the next episode of Storytellers
Cafecito break.